In this video, I'll be bringing on a special guest, Mike Mark from CoachingSales.com. He's going to show you how to manage your high-ticket sales calendar so you can create more opportunities and maximize your revenue. My name is Kyle Sullerud. I'm the founder of AdLeg, a marketing company specializing in YouTube ads. And a lot of our clients are high-ticket coaches running high-ticket sales call funnels. A common bottleneck for these clients is their calendars get full. And sometimes we actually have to scale back the ads until more salespeople can be brought on board. My guest today, Mike Mark, and his company, CoachingSales.com, specialize in solving this problem and breaking through this bottleneck by helping to build high-ticket sales teams. In fact, they don't just help build the team, they'll build a team for you. But outside of building or growing a sales team, there is a lot you can do to manage your calendar differently and really optimize the time that you or your current sales team already has available. Mike is going to share these strategies with you today. Now, while you're watching, make sure to show him some love and leave some comments below with some of your biggest takeaways. And trust me, you will have a lot of big takeaways from what Mike is about to share. So enough from me, here is Mike Mark.
What's up, everybody? I am excited to be able to break down how to manage your sales calendars today. So if you guys are running sales call funnels, this is gonna be a critical video for you to watch, because in today's training, what we're gonna do is show you exactly how we manage calendars for high ticket sales funnels to create more opportunities and maximize revenue. And we overall, in terms of high ticket sales funnels, our clients are doing anywhere between 7 to 8 million a month cumulatively. So we really know this stuff backwards and forwards. Overall, who this is for is going to be if you're a coach, if you are a course creator, if you're a consultant, you're selling your knowledge in some way, shape, or form, and you're particularly using a sales call to be able to lead that conversation, as well as a service provider if you offer some kind of a service. And again, you're using a sales call where you're booking sales calls, especially if you're doing it from ads or any sort of predictable traffic with applications. In your guys' case, it's most likely going to be YouTube, because we all know YouTube's where it's at right now. So anyway, why all this matters is pretty simple. It's just going to make you more revenue, going to help you get more profit. It's going to help you have more freedom, more impact, and just in general, more fun. So one of the big things that I believe is the best thing a human being can do is help to another human being know more. I love Charlie Munger, and a lot of his thinking I really, really enjoy. And so in this video, my goal is that you guys walk away with just one little tip that you can implement and go really see a massive increase in your business. And I'll actually give you a breakdown of the numbers and a way for you to calculate them closer towards the end of this training. So first, we're going to talk about how to use apps. I think that most people that come to us do not understand how to use apps. And when I say apps, it's industry jargon, short for applications. So they're basically surveys or forms that people fill out in order to apply to work with you. I'm sure you guys already know this, but just in case there's a couple of you guys that don't, I want to bring you up to speed. Anyway, how to use apps. There's a few little counterintuitive things that I want to make sure you guys really understand. But after having our eyes on over 10,000 plus applications, seeing what works and what doesn't work, there are a few common misconceptions, and we're going to go through and clear those up, as well as a couple little best practices that are going to help you big time. So number one, on applications, a lot of you guys are going to ask for email, and maybe if you're managing your calendars, you're getting the email actually only on the booking. So if you guys are using Calendly or Schedule Once, you might see emails come in there. So keep an eye on emails. Emails are really, really, really important, especially the quality of the emails. What we generally see is, in most cases, and it depends on your offer, but the vast majority of offers, we do see this as a pattern. If you have something like someone who's at Earthlink or Roadrunner still, which is insane, the fact that anybody's on either of those, that deal is likely not going to close, right? So we usually see our best emails are going to be Gmails and actual custom domains. You're also going to see Yahoo is going to be a pretty good one. Outlook's going to be a pretty good one. And those are going to be the primary emails that are going to be higher quality. We're also going to look at if it is a Yahoo, if it is a Gmail, if it is one of those types of emails. We want to see that the email that they're using is not like Fairy Princess 72, right, at yahoo.com. That app is going to be a low quality app. Instead, what we want to see is generally some variation of like first name, last name, first initial, last name, first name, last initial, and maybe a couple of numbers. Those are going to be your best non-custom domain emails. Oftentimes, I'm even just going to straight up delete when I see bad emails. Our VA goes through and she straight up deletes them as appointments and just cancels the appointment. Another thing is that when people are determining the quality of the app, oftentimes both our clients and the sales reps themselves place way too much emphasis on currently where someone's at. So it's very common in terms of applications for people to ask, how much money are you currently making with this business? And when people answer below a certain number, people immediately rule them out. What we tend to find is, so with a lot of our clients, they'll categorize their applications. So we've had clients that rank them on a 1 to 4 scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 being the best, 1 being the worst. And we've had clients do, other scales where it's like a disqualified, bronze, silver, gold type of thing. What we generally see is that everybody wants to get the golds, or they want to get the 4-star applications. But what we usually see is actually a huge amount of your deals on an annual basis will be coming from those 2s and those bronzes. So those ones just above being disqualified. And really the key in those applications, when we're reading applications, I want to see that their target income is big enough to justify investing a lot of money, or their target weight loss, or their target, whatever their goal is, right? If you're selling health, wealth, relationships, they need to have a big target and they need to believe in that target. And oftentimes, let's say you have someone who wants to get to $5,000 a month, depending on your offer and the pricing and everything, but if you're charging $10K and someone wants to make $5,000 a month, the odds of selling a $10,000 offer to someone who's going to make $60,000 a year are pretty slim, as opposed to if you want to, let's say someone wants to make $20,000 a month, they're currently at $3,000 a month, the odds of selling a $10,000 offer to them are pretty high. Actually, you'd be amazed at how resourceful people can get in that situation. I've literally personally enrolled someone who he was making $1,600 a month as a busboy. I enrolled him into a $7,500 program, and the guy's a millionaire now today. So I've seen this, your target income and their belief in self and their ability to achieve that target income is far more important than actually what their current income is. So keep that in mind. Next thing is prove it to me language. To me, prove it to me language is an automatic cancel. Prove it to me language is when people say, yeah, well, you got to show me that this actually works. And they kind of talk to you like they're skeptical. It's somewhat rude, and they're just trying to challenge you and your authority inside of the application. It's very rare that those people close, and those people are more often than not going to be extremely frustrating people to talk to. The next one is talking about you and your content. So whenever you have an applications where like, yeah, when you said that thing about, that idea in your webinar, or when you said that thing about XYZ, and they're talking about your VSL, or they're talking about some of your core content that leads up to it, that's a gold app. That's a money app. Like if I see that, oh my goodness, I want to take that call all day long. Because generally, if someone really feels connected to you, or they feel connected to your core idea in the content, that's a good indication that that person's on the phone and they're ready to go if they can figure out how to make it work, and we can help them get resourceful at the end of the call. So these are kind of the opposite. The prove it to me language is usually a bad sign. Talking about you and your content, very good sign. And it just shows like the affinity that they have to you one way or another. If they have a negative feeling towards you, or a skepticism, or if they have a belief in a positive connection to you. So this is huge, 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 huge. Next is that apps do not handle objections. So everybody says like, are you able to make the decision on the call? Do you have any partners? Do you have to talk to your wife about this? And they want someone to say like, no, I can make the decision by myself. Well, I promise you, your people are going to lie. They're going to say whatever it takes to get you on the phone, because really all they're curious about is hearing what the price is. So they're going to say whatever they can to get on the phone. They're going to make you go through the whole rigmarole. They're going to hear your price, and then they're going to use the exact objection you tried to handle in the application, and you're going to get mad and feel like, why did you even book the call? You said you couldn't do it. Look, you're just going to drive yourself crazy if you get mad at those people. Instead, realize that applications are not there to handle objections. Applications instead are better used for ruling out certain industries and also looking at binary qualifiers. So what do I mean by those? Imagine that you know that you just can't work with fitness professionals who come from a certain background. Let's say you help fit pros grow their business, right? But you know nutritionists aren't your ideal client. You're really better with personal trainers. So what I'm looking for in the application is if they say nutritionist, then I'm going to just cancel the call already up front. Because I know if I make that offer, that person's not a good fit for my offer. And this is a complete hypothetical, by the way. It doesn't has no bearing to what we actually see. I just wanted to throw out an example. Next is binary qualifiers. So it's really important for you to figure out, what are your need to haves and what are your deal breakers, and then you ask yes, no based questions as opposed to the multiple choice based questions. And when someone says, yes, I have that, it gives you a good indication that, all right, this person's going to be a good fit. Now, the mistake that a lot of people make is when they get any binary qualifier that's a no, they just throw the application out. One of the best things that we see is when you can split your calls between an inbound SDR or setter. So this person generally will do like a 15-minute triage or discovery call, however you want to call it. And then you have your actual closer, sales rep, account executive, and their whole job is to do the actual 45-minute, 10-hour-long conversation. So generally, if I have an application where maybe a couple binary qualifiers are not met, but they seem like this person might still be a good fit, then they're going to go to the inbound SDR team. If they are clearly a good fit, they're going straight to the sales rep's calendar, and that's one of the ways that we can make the system a lot more efficient overall and not throw too many applications out unnecessarily, causing us to lose deals that we otherwise could win. So this is a good, quick list. If there's one thing that stands out to you particularly, just take a note of it and implement it. Because even if you just implement one idea here, it's going to end up becoming a really big impact in the long run. So now I wanted to give you 3 common mistakes really fast. Number 1 is cherry picking apps. So what do I mean by that? So especially if you bring in sales reps, a lot of times business owners will see very good apps. They'll see apps that are referrals. They'll see apps that are friends potentially, and they'll jump in and take those calls. You don't want to cherry pick your apps. You want to leave the applications there to go to your sales reps. If you do have sales reps on your team, it's just a thing. Sometimes people will also have one sales rep who's a better sales rep, and they'll give all the good reps to that person, and we call that uneven distribution. That's generally a bad idea. These are things that are going to just destroy the trust inside of your organization. If you cherry pick apps or you unevenly distribute your apps, it communicates to your sales reps and overall that I just don't trust you, right? And because your sales reps feel like they're not trusted, they don't feel valued, and it ultimately will really hinder your culture and your ability to grow fast. Also, it messes up your benchmarks. So you are unfairly judging people. So let's say you cherry pick all the good apps. Yeah, you might have a close percentage of 70% and your sales reps have close percentages of 15% and you're getting upset at them. When really if they took those good apps, they could have close percentages closer into the range of 30%. So you might be deeming them a loser when really they're actually a good rep. You just took all the good apps. So hope that makes sense. The last one is going to be leaving low quality apps for practice. If you have low quality apps on your calendar and you or even your sales reps are taking calls, you as a business owner, you could take some of those early on to figure out what's not working and collect the information. But low quality apps are not a source of practice. And the reason is that people who are not good fits do not behave like people who are good fits. One of the areas where I really learned this was in wrestling. So when I was wrestling in high school, I would wrestle bad wrestlers, and it was very weird because people who are bad wrestlers don't do what good wrestlers do. So practicing on them actually made you worse when it came time to go against a good person. Instead, you want to wrestle against the best wrestlers you can to continually get better in preparation for whenever you do meet an amazing wrestler. So same thing goes with your reps or you even yourself. You want to make sure that you're just eliminating low quality applications. You're not leaving them for practice, but instead you're just getting them off the calendar altogether. You're saving everybody's time, you're saving everybody's energy, and in fact, you're not drilling any bad habits or creating any changes in the sales process for you or your sales reps that will end up actually negatively impacting your ability to close the people who are good fits. Now, I am a big numbers person. I'm imagining some of you guys here are numbers people as well. And one of the things when you're clearing the calendar, right? So generally we're going to have a VA who checks the calendar every 3 hours and deletes any bad apps. And if we can rapidly delete these apps, and this is a key because, generally we don't want apps to go more than 2 to 3 days out, right? If they go past 3 days, they're going to forget why they booked a call. They're going to no-show. They maybe have bought from another provider. So you usually want them in a 2 to 3 day window from when they book. That being the case, we want to make sure that we maximize our sales reps and even our time as the business owner. So if we're taking sales calls, let's say your sales rep has 5 calls on any given day. If we're not quickly deleting the bad apps, that could be 1 or 2 call slots that now your sales rep has nothing to do, nobody to talk to, or they have a bad fit to talk to when they otherwise could be talking to a good fit. So by clearing those out, even if you just get 1 extra call per day at a 25% close percentage with a $5,000 price point, you're talking about $25,000 a month in additional revenue, $300,000 a year in additional revenue. It's crazy, but it really is that big of a difference. Let's say you get 2 extra calls, that doubles. And I mean, if you have a team like a lot of the teams that we're working with where they have 4 or 5 sales reps, they're scaled up, they're running massive amounts of traffic. You could see that you could easily get an extra 5 good quality calls a day. That's over a deal a day and comes out to an additional $1.4, $1.5 million a year, more or less. So, and that's at a 5K price point. I know a lot of you guys might even have 10, 15 grand price points. Some of you guys might have 3K, 2K price points. It's totally fine. What I've done is I actually put together a calculator here at the calendar management. So I'm going to open it up. And what you guys can do is you can put in your price point, your close percentage, and the number of work days per week. So, some of you guys, you might have teams where your reps want to work 6 days a week. Some of you guys might have teams where you want your reps only working 5 days a week. It's okay, however you do it, but it gives you a quick idea. Like you can make an easy extra 100 grand just by implementing this in a year. And it costs you literally like the VA would be maybe $500, $400 a month tops. So you're talking about four or 5 grand to make an additional 140 grand a year. Like the return on this activity of being good with calendar management is crazy. And so what you can do is you could say, all right, well, actually let's say you have a $7,000 product and you close 25% of your folks that you talk to, and you got a sales rep who's super hungry. He works 6 days a week and wants more calls all the time. So just getting this calendar management system in place, this gives you an idea of, depending on how many reps you have and how many extra calls per day you can get, gives you a quick idea of the yearly and monthly revenue increase just by having good calendar management practices. So again, if you guys just go to this Cal Management link, it will take you there. And this is real. Like Brett is a client of ours who worked with us, and we literally dialed in the systems and processes for his calendar management specifically. And when he's saying the one call, he's talking about calendar management was what we talked about on the call. He nailed it. And then inside of just a matter of 2 months, he was able to more or less triple his business, which is pretty remarkable. And that's pretty much it. If you guys want to learn more about our systems for managing your sales calendars or even sales teams in general, you could go to coachingsales.com/playbook. And I know if you're not in a situation right now where you need sales reps, you will be at some point, because Kyle and his team are really amazing at what they do, and they'll be able to get your calendar completely booked solid if it isn't already. So go ahead. If you are in a situation where you're running a sales calendar funnel or sales call funnel, make sure you're implementing those calendar management practices and have a good time scaling.
Amazing stuff, Mike. Thanks for sharing that information with my audience. I'll put the links that Mike mentioned in the description below. Did you like this video? Do you want me to bring more guests onto my channel? Leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought. I know there was a lot of great stuff in today's video, and you probably have a lot that you're looking forward to going and doing and implementing in your own sales calendar and your application process. After you do that, if you're still in need of more salespeople, if you're still scaling, make sure to reach out to Mike at coachingsales.com. Thanks for watching today's video. My name is Kyle Sullerud, and I'll see you in the next video.